They're pretty good, aren't they? Let's give it up for them. And that light show. Give it up for that light technician, huh? Let's give a round of applause for the old Cure for the Common. Hemp, hemp! Nothing says give it up like hemp, hemp, hooray, huh? Hemp, hemp! All right, you guys, we're going to have a short little intermission here, and then Gypsy Lumberjacks are going to tear it up. But in the meantime, I was wondering, did you guys ever want to see change in the world? No. Do you ever look at the world and go, you know what, I wish I could just make a few changes with this stuff, huh? So you guys are all here, you understand certain things about industrial hemp and cannabis and whatnot, you think that it should be legalized or changed, and you're upset about it, you don't think you're criminals, you know a thing or two about hemp, you know it's a fiber, it's a wonderful food, a building material, so on and so forth. So maybe there's like a spark in your brain, right? A spark that goes off, sort of like okay, I can see how the man, the powers that be, the government, might be lying to me about cannabis. They just might be lying to me about this wonderful plant. They're trying to make me think it's terrible, but in fact it's wonderful. There's nothing wrong with it. It's actually a religious sacrament. Actually, if you didn't know this, it's kind of interesting, but even in the Christian dogma, when old Moses came down from the mountaintop, God gave him a recipe for the sacred anointing oil. They called for 12 pounds of flower and cannabis tops. And the word Messiah in Hebrew means the anointed one. Therefore, Jesus has no claim to being the Messiah if he were not, in fact, anointed with the sacred anointing oil, which calls for 12 pounds of flower and cannabis tops. So there we go. So what's all this bullshit about? We're not criminals. We're not doing anything wrong. We're in fact the most religious and righteous and wholesome people on the earth. We're going to fight for our right to be the most wholesome, sincere, and wonderful people on earth because cannabis is a wonderful thing. I don't know if you guys know about it, but there's this thing called industrial hemp, which is cannabis too. And it's so wonderful too. It doesn't get you high. It doesn't make you like see religious visions. It doesn't make you understand the world and peace and everything wonderful about this world. But it does supply the best source of protein, the best source for cellulose, the most biomass that can be produced by any other crop in this region. It can also make plastics and buildings that'll basically last for thousands of years. It'll make it so that we can swim in the waters again, and we can breathe the air, we can eat the food, and we can be rich and abundant and happy. And it's pleasant marijuana, gets you high, makes you see God, and it can all come together, people. Actually, there's probably a way to grow a certain strain of cannabis that can do it all. Where you can get high, and then when you press the oil out of a cannabis seed, it's 0 THC, so you can have a 0 THC food oil, a high THC protein powder, plus a fiber and a herd. You can collect the dust to make energy pellets. You can collect the hash and cure cancer. Oh yeah, by the way, cannabis, this wonderful thing I'm talking about, it has more medicinal uses than any other thing in the history of the world. And basically what they're finding with all the different cannabinoids, of which THC is just one of them, also cannabinol or CBD. There's like 11 other ones of them, and they're doing all this research in California, and they're basically finding that it basically cures everything. You want to be in harmony with the earth and with yourself? Well, guess what? The answer is an old answer, but it's still the answer. Hemp Hoe! Major religion on earth has used cannabis in their rituals. So don't we have this thing called freedom of religion? Aren't we supposed to have freedom of religion in America? Well, we need to fight for that right and stand up for it and say, hell no, I ain't no criminal. I'm a yogi. I'm trying to get my groove on here. And guess what else? Turns out the research says you can drive on this shit. So it's really not really a threat at all. It's the only plant that you can't OD on. Check that out. It's the #1 cash crop in America. smart, huh? So let me get this straight. Anybody can grow it. It totally makes everything sweet. It cures all your ailments. And it can basically save the world with its industrial applications.
Yeah!
Let's make that illegal. No more. We're done with this. So here's the good news. There's other states in the union. It's not just us, South Dakota, you know, we're doing all right. We're maybe going to figure it out, but there's other states that already figured it out. They done figured it out. Colorado legalized cannabis. They wrote all these wonderful laws into their bills, and they legalized hemp, and they grew it last year. Ryan Lindell, remember that name? He had the balls to grow hemp because the state said he could. The feds didn't do anything, and voila! One person's guts, one person stands up and says, I will risk my family, my land, and my future for everybody else.
Yeah!
And turns out he had enough backing behind him and enough support in this world that he got to do it. And guess what? Now they're doing a whole bunch of it in Colorado. And guess what else we can do? We can process all the other cannabis that they grow in Colorado and other states. You know, we can turn cannabis, marijuana into fiber, into herd, into homes, into clothes, into medicine, into shelter. Isn't that exciting? Each and every one of us can have a part in this wonderful future, and we can all have abundance. We can all have our home, shelter, fiber, our damn protein, our food. The food, y'all! Something's wrong with the food! They're poisoning the food. They've been trying to pass a bill in Congress that makes gardens illegal. They've been trying to pass laws in Congress that make only this really weird frankenfood stuff legal that they wouldn't even consider in any other country. Are you kidding me? Who are we electing? Please vote responsibly, but more importantly, please vote responsibly with your dollars.
Yeah!
It's what you spend your money on, fools. That's what's going to be around. And on that note, tomorrow morning we will be open to sell you guys a little bit of shirts. We're going to have a cheap little sale. So come support hemp. I know you guys are all out here supporting hemp, but do what you can. Tell people about it. Tell your folks. Tell your job. Tell your kids, people. This is the most wholesome, harmonious, in the groove with the vibe that is out there. The earth needs its mother seed. This is the tree of life. It supplies everything we need. It's not a joke. It's not some hippie dream, save the world. It actually is going to save the world, can save the world, and it has begun to save the world. And you're all a part of it. So get excited! Yes! We're going to change this shit. I've had it. We've all had it. These band set overs take a long time, so let's keep it going. The pyramids, they said that hempcrete was used to build the pyramids, but I don't think it was. I think they actually just used hemp ropes to drag those rocks. Did you know that, just imagine, throughout the entire history of the earth, up until 1937, hemp was the biggest thing going. What are you growing? No, I mean, what are you growing? Oh, of course you're growing hemp, but I'm also growing some strawberries. Did you know it was illegal? It was illegal back in the 1700s not to grow hemp. Yep. It was illegal. Hey, Farmer John, did you not grow hemp? Well, here's a fine, buddy. Thanks a lot. You're screwing us. We need it. Throughout the entire history of our earth. I mean, we got hemp beer now. They had hemp beer in the Middle Ages. Yeah. The entire history of naval travel is hemp. It's all hemp, baby. All of our founding fathers, they grew hemp. They have great quotes like, make the most of the hemp seeds, sow it everywhere. George Washington. Thomas Jefferson was all about the hemp. He was importing seeds. He was smart. He was importing seeds from Afghanistan. Yeah, because only for industrial uses, right? No. Little George Washington was getting baked, y'all. Coming up with strategies to beat the English. Unless that's a whole bunch of crap. Because cannabis is just the tip of the iceberg, y'all. Have you ever heard of international banking? Have you ever heard of that? how we issue money from the Federal Reserve? Every dollar that we issue creates a debt. It has an interest against it. So we just create a debt creating machine. And all that money just goes to the 33 richest families from 1932. And pretty much all of our tax dollars, a large percentage of it goes to pay the interest on the Federal Reserve. And I know that's boring and crazy and outrageous, and it's hard to understand, but it might just possibly be true. And the point is if you can see the point about him, if you can see how the man's lying to you about him, and coming up with this big outrageous lie about this wonderful plant, then maybe you can see how the man is maybe lying about a bunch of other shit too. Alright? So keep your mind on the prize. And guess what? We have a secret weapon against all this. It's called love. We got love. We got the love. And if you spread the love, and spread your love, and love everybody as much as you can, then they can't get you. And they can't hurt you, and they can't stop you. And guess what? Hemp is love. So soak it up, people. Hemp Hoe Down once a year. Let's party safe. Let's be good. I love all you guys. Hemp, hemp! Educated fool, y'all. Love ya. Next up, Gypsy Lumberjacks is gonna tear the roof off this place. The Keefe Green, Kung Pao. And one more DJ that I can't remember. Who is it?
I've been drinking too much.
All right, we'll figure that out later and give it mad props. Yeah.